All right, let me try this. All right, let's try. Anybody there? Say hello. Anybody there? Oops. Say hello. Need to shut that off. Sorry about that, guys. We'll be in an endless loop. You can't do that when you're... I'm just trying to give you guys a perspective of the sculpture. It does look really good, man. It looks good. I thought they were cutting me off. But this picture here is sized to the exact same size as this sculpture. And I measured everything from the lip distance is identical. The nose width is identical to this picture. The eye space is identical. The chin is identical. Everything's on the money. The distance between the lip peaks are perfect. Everything's on the money. It's just the lighting in here is not helping this. I don't know. Now I still have to texture it a little bit in the face. I don't have a lot left to do. Now I still have to texture it a little bit in the face. I don't have a lot left to do. I got to drink my drink here too. But the scale's heavier, and it's to match the actual Shatner life cast. My headset, I got to disconnect that because I keep hearing feedback. All right, let's disconnect that. DP24, what's happening, buddy? How many people are on with me? Where the hell does it say it? Doesn't say it anywhere, does it? How many people are on? Yeah, I know, DP. I was on. I was driving. I was at the Wi-Fi was bad. I thought YouTube was messing with me, but they're not. And the message that was sent to me, I thought, uh-oh, something's wrong with my channel. But it was a renewal for somebody's. I pay somebody one of those renewal, being part of their membership. I just got a notification that I have to update my account information so they can continue to get money. So anyway, it was just the Wi-Fi was bad when I was out on the road. Yeah, this is pretty much ready to go, man. Outside of texturing around the lip area, I really fixed this up nice. It's really on the money. The nose is no longer real long like the other one. Let me show you. I'll put the mask. I'll put a mask next to it. Now here's the Ultra. Now this is a defective mask that I have that I painted. I'm trying to work on paint scheme with it. And I'm also working on hairstyling to get it more accurate. But this doesn't have hair on it. This just has, I'm just going to show you what the difference in the lips are. Yeah, this sucker's really nice, man. I'm telling you, this is it. This is the final flashback. I really don't need to go and improve it any more than what I've done. It's that close. Now this is a defect. I've done a lot of alterations from here to this. Now this is latex, so you're not seeing the sculpture the way it was. This is the Ultra. It has a defect on the forehead, so I'm not doing anything with this mask. I'm going to get rid of it. I'll sell it cheap. That's what I'll do. I'll get rid of it to somebody cheap. If they want me to hair it, this will be I've never figured out how much the hair costs by itself. Wait a minute. Damn it. Let me do something. Sorry I'm blocking your view, but I gotta wedge this so it doesn't move. What the hell? There we go. There's a lot of difference in this sculpture versus that sculpture. And I'll tell you the first difference you're seeing. The eye slants, the cut all the way back. This goes much further back. The slant that goes back here. This is brought forward more, and that's more accurate. Looks more accurate. Look how much longer this nose is compared to this nose. All right, that's one of the major problems I was having with it. And what happened was I was trying to shorten the distance between the bottom of the nose to the lip line. And the problem was I had to readjust these lips. So I brought these lips up. They used to be down around here. These lips were here. They used to be down around here. I added a little more chin to it and jawline, and then brought the lip line up a little bit, or I took some of the chin away. That's what I did. Yeah, I brought the lip up a little bit and shortened the nose, and then made sure the distance between the nose and the top of these peaks We're dead on the money. The nose is the right. It's perfect. This sculpture is perfect. It's really, really on the money, man. That is the Ultra. So the guy that actually, I don't know if he's still on here. Yeah, Drac Nation. That's your Ultra. See, compared to the new 1-to-1 on the back of the sculpture, it says 1-to-1, meaning. Yeah, it's really accurate, man. It is really accurate. I'm so excited for this sculpture to be put in mask, into a mask. The Ultra, it's a nice looking mask and everything, but I see the huge difference. Yeah, I know, Drac, it is. There's a big difference. The nose doesn't look real narrow like that one does. It's widened. Um, the nose holes are perfect. The width of the nose is wider. It looks just a little bit wider. It looks really good. I do have Instagram. I just don't know how to use it. I have Instagram. I think it's being. I think that yeah. You can look up custom corpses on Instagram. I share cross-platform. In other words, if I post something on Facebook, it goes on Instagram instantly. It's shared across all platforms. Yeah, I think this is extremely close. This sculpture is very, very close to the screen used mask. I don't think anybody has one as close as this out there. I really don't. Um, Now you're not seeing this thing perfect because the sculpture, you're not seeing it perfect because the lighting is not real good. And it's just the lighting that's in my studio. I can't, there's nothing I can do. I've tried everything. I tried shutting out the front. I tried shutting down the front lights. It's just really bad lighting in here. I think what I'm going to have to do is change the type of lighting that I have in here. Yeah, I think I'm on Instagram. I don't really go on Instagram too much. I don't know how to get to the messages. Every time I see somebody put something on Instagram, I don't know where the damn messages are on Instagram. That's the problem. I don't have no idea where the hell the messages are. You know, somebody sends me a message, or I don't know where to find it. So I got more hairspray. I also got some more shine. And teasing the hair is. I tried getting a texture comb, and that's not working. Not with wool. DP24, I haven't seen you in a while, man. What have you been up to? And Thor, you think this is the closest thing out there? Jay Thor, you think this is the closest thing out there? I have to call everybody. I know your old handle, but I'm using your new handle. You know Adult Life? No, I never heard of that. DP24. And you know Adult Life? Is that a question? Put a question mark. Um, I never heard of Adult Life, no. Adult Life problems? Yeah, I got a ton of those. And they're piling up. The older I get, the worse they get. Yeah, I think this is a really, really close copy of the. I seen a couple new masks that are out there, and what I didn't like about it was the left corner of the mouth. Um, it was up too high, like my old mask was. And I mean, I'm not busting on anybody because I've been through the gamut, whatever you want to call it. I've been through hell with trying to perfect this mask, and and it had the same problem I had with this mask. Now, um, the screen used mask, the lip line has a slight slant to it on the actual screen used mask. Uh, the screen used mask, the lip line has a slant to it's lower on the check mark side than it is on the other side. So if you're looking at the sculpture right now, the there's a slant that runs, just such a slight slant. If you look at it on the screen used mask, you can see it. And I made sure that I put that in here when I readjusted these lips. And man, it made a hell of a difference. It made one hell of a difference. Now, it's an illusion that one side's higher than the other. It If you're looking at the mask from different perspectives, the right side looking at the mask seems like it's lower than the left side, but because of the slant, the natural slant that's in the lip line completely going across, that's a false. Yeah, this thing is really close. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now that you've seen the difference between the two masks, the difference that I've done with the longer nose, the shorter nose versus the longer nose. Hold on. This is I have that right. And what I mean is the lip line, this is slanted. Believe it or not, there's a slight slant that goes uphill on this lip line. It's lower down here than it is over on this side, but because of the way the shape of this lip is, it always looks like it appears like it's deeper on this side, and it's not the truth. It's actually, this is the screen used mask you're seeing right there. And you can see how close I am here with this. Let me get this turned right. Am I squared away? Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, you can see. Now, the picture. I don't know about the nose. I just noticed the mouth. The mouth was a little off. And I mean, I'm not busting on this mask at all. Don't get it wrong. I'm just not. I'm not criticizing as a. I struggled with this. You guys know, man. How many videos have I done? How many times I've retooled this thing? And I mean, his masks are phenomenal. Jimmy Falco's. All his stuff is phenomenal. I just, I just think I really paid attention to the finest details on this thing. Now you can't see. Let me see if I can change this lighting so I can get a better shot on my lips. to cast more shadow or more light or something, because it sucks. You can't really see it. Um, Now it needs to be textured. Yeah, it needs to be textured. See how shiny that is? That's from, from smoothing out. It needs to be textured. Um, let's see. Let me try lowering this thing here so we can get lower and almost dead even with the. All right, give me a second. I have to. All right, let's do this. Now you're looking uphill a little bit. You're down below well, you're basically, the camera's almost dead on with the sculpture. But you can see the lips a little bit better now. Now the shine's going to be gone. The shine will be gone out of that. That's only from smoothing it with my fingers and really trying to work that. Yeah, I really don't want to start. Really don't want to start mocking on somebody's stuff, because man, this mask is so friggin' hard to do. It is so hard. I mean, I don't know how many times I've retooled this thing because I kept making little mistakes, little tiny little things wrong. And he may retool again. I mean, he's going to get it nailed if he keeps working at it. Some people don't. They're just like, okay, I'm moving on. Which I understand, because he makes a lot of other masks, and some of his other work is phenomenal, man. I was looking at some of his Frankensteins, and what else did he do? There was a couple masks that I saw on there, and I thought, my God, they look amazing. Oh, he did Reagan from. Oh God, come on. The Exorcist, Reagan, when she was all, man, he did that. Man, she looks fun. That mask looks amazing. Well, I don't know if it's a prop or. Yeah, please don't disrespect anybody, because they watch the channel, they see things, and I'm not knocking on anything. I really don't. I don't criticize anybody if it's not corrective criticism. It's not out of spite. It's not out of meanness, because I can't talk. How many times have I retooled this thing? I can't tell you. I really have busted my ass trying to get this thing to look good, and it's not easy. It is not easy. And people that think it easy, I say, I welcome you to the challenge. Go for it. Try to make this sculpture. You will go nuts, especially when you don't have the experience. Grace Falco's he's probably been doing it for 20 years. I don't even know how long Jimmy's been doing it. I know it's been a while. I love his setup too, man. I'd give anything to be able to have a setup like that in here. But I'm also a musician, so I have other things that are going on inside the studio outside of mask making. But I'm actually trying to convert the studio strictly to mask making, so it'll be made so it goes. Oh, thanks, Dor. Here's how I say it. I'm not known in the mask world. Sales will not, they're not. I'm gonna have to. I know what I have to do. I have to get my mask into the hands of great artists to have them do a finished job on it, and let them put it on their website and stuff, and see if they'll advertise the mask for me. And guys like James Carter, I'm going to send him a couple masks and let him paint them and keep them, and let him Let him advertise the mask for me, you know. And I'm also going to pay him to do one for me to keep. But I'm going to send him a couple blanks that he can keep and sell if he just promotes me. You know, because once people get that mask into, hey, everybody's changed their names, so I don't know. Some of you, you know, the YouTube changed everybody's name. RRJR Statue Man. You must have a new name, so I'm trying to remember. No, I don't remember. Do you have a new? What was your other handle? That's another thing, guys. These new names are really, it's driving me nuts because some people I'm talking now. DP, the only thing they changed on DP's channel was putting that 2416 on the end of his name. J Thor is different. That used to be Thornbird, and now it's J Thor 9902. Drac Nation. I remember your name, but I don't know if it was still the same. Maybe they changed it with the YT. I don't know, man. I know mine's a little different now. If I text, you know what? Let me text mine in there. I'll just what's up? That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, see, they put a 444 on the end of my Custom Corpses 444. Used to be just Custom Corpses. And I think I used to have capitals on my C's. Yeah, it's weird, but you know, I don't know. They do what they do, and I don't really care. I just got to make sure I'm trying to remember everybody and try to talk to everybody, like you know, because you're all friends to me. You know, it's funny. I'll never forget this. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was 4 years. It might have been 3 years ago. I'm standing in line to meet Dick Warlock at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill. It was in August of 3 years ago, I believe. Yeah, it was 3 years. So I'm in line waiting to talk to Dick Warlock, and you know, all of a sudden this guy runs up to me and he's like, "Yo, man, can you give me your autograph?" I'm like, I'm not with any of those guys at the line. You know, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a star. I'm here to get a signature from Dick Warlock. And I'm not thinking about YouTube. I'm not even thinking about that, man. Because I'm not trying to be a star. I'm not trying to be any of that. But it kind of like shocks you when somebody says, "No, man, I watch your YouTube all the time. It's friggin' awesome, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, oh, my brother now, he's looking at me like, what the hell? Now, my brother, the reason why I say that is because my brother is a singer, all right? And he doesn't get that. He's never got somebody out of Comic-Con or anything like where people run up to you and ask for an autograph. I'm like, has that ever happened to you? And he said no. He was pissed. I said, well, I wasn't expecting it, so I signed whatever he wanted me to sign, and I thought, you know, best of wishes from DJ Styles and Custom Corpses or whatever it was. But I don't look at myself in that light. I really don't, man. I'm an average Joe. I'm just like you guys, man. I'm no different. I'm just an artist. I'm also a musician. I like doing, you know, I'm DJing, but I'm really down to earth. I don't buy into this glorious shit. I just don't. I'm not into the limelight stuff. I don't really care about it. I just thought it was an interesting story. Hey, Raphael, yeah, you're all right. That's it. All right, now I know exactly who you are now. How you been, Raphael? Yeah, they changed everybody's name, and it makes it hard to identify everybody. Raphael, what do you think? I've got the new sculpture basically done now. The picture there that you're looking at is from a different angle. You know, it's the shot, like the pictures, not the same angle as the mask. You know, that's how I am too. But I mean, I've been going through a lot of nonsense. I wouldn't say nonsense. Everybody say hello to Raphael. Been a while since he's been on. I'm going to be doing. I'm signing up once I get my surgery in April, all through the summer months and probably for the next couple of years. I'm signing up to Stan Winston's School of Art. I was going to do it over this winter, but I had so much that happened to me over this winter. Not just me, but the family in itself. My brother's not doing well. He's doing a little better than what he was doing, but he's got stage 4 kidney failure. Not good. Dialysis is next. Uh, my mother-in-law, she kept falling right around Christmas time, and we were in and out of the hospital several times. Well, you can't pick them up because they don't. She's 91 years old. She doesn't even know if she broke anything. They don't usually feel it. They're a little sore, but usually it's an hour later. That's when they feel the pain. So we had to call an ambulance every time she fell. She fell like 4 or 5 times. So we would call an ambulance, and then so I've been really kind of down. I'm not. I wouldn't say depressed because I don't have that in my nature. I'm a fighter by nature. I'm also a very pleasant type of personality. I don't really believe in being negative. Negative just brings negative. So I try to stay positive. I think I'm angry at politics in itself right now. I just hate what the country's doing to itself. But I don't want to talk about politics. I really don't. I really don't even want to go there on this channel at all. So that's just not something I'll discuss anymore. It just makes you bitter and angry. But it is what it is. Can't change anything. All we can do is vote. That's it. Anyway, let's talk masks. Yeah, I've been going through a lot of crap, man. My brother, my mother-in-law, my own health. I'm getting gastric bypass surgery, but now I got to wait until April to do it. And I check out Raphael's channel, man, because he really has some cool work that he does, man. I really like his paint schemes that he does on some of his. I want to say, what do you want to call them? They're real pieces of art, man. It's like, I don't know. Do you do a lot of 3D printed stuff, Raphael? You do a lot of 3D printing and make your own 3D prints, or do you collector's pieces? He goes out and he buys the collector's pieces and then rehauls them. I've been able to put my finger on exactly what you do with your work, and I haven't had time to really watch a lot of videos because I've been so swamped with everything that's going on around me. So forgive me. I will eventually get back on track. I'm hoping this summer, and with the weight loss, I should have a lot less hip pain. I can't stand very long. It's just, man, I've got really bad pain in my hips. That's been my drawback with everything. So, but I want to get back on track once this weight starts to come off again over the summer months. I'm looking at a whole different person probably by October, November. Yes, he does, Jay Thor. He has some really cool stuff. What's the latest thing you've been working on, Raphael? Man, I need to. How can I? I'm gonna just call you Statue Man. All right. I'm gonna drop the RRJR. Say Statue Man. How do they know who you are? That's what I thought you did. It was high-end collectibles. That's what you pick. You get a lot of that stuff and then you repaint them. But your workmen, your paint schemes are amazing, man. They look so good. I love them. I do. The few videos that I've seen, and I think they were like probably the best ones to see. But I can't remember which ones they were now. I did tell you the last time I talked to you which ones I watched. But it's been a while since I've been on your channel. It's been on a while since I've been on, period, on anybody's channel. So forgive me there, guys. I'll get back to it. There's a couple guys that I haven't seen on here in a while, and I'm wondering where they're at. Uh, but eventually I'll see them. I'll catch up to them. I'm excited for this new mask. Track Nation. Yeah, man. Got to check out his content. He does some really cool stuff. And it's funny. A lot of artists, we all kind of gel together. I'll tell you a guy to really watch. It's really fun to watch. Have you guys ever heard of Stilt B Studios? Let me put a look up. I'm going to put this in the comments. Look up Stilt B Studios here on YouTube. And he owns a haunt down in Texas. And why I love watching him is he's so clever at making things with cheap materials. His name's Alan Hops. Let me put his. Alan Hops, all right. Yeah, I talk to him quite often. He has a haunt down in Texas, and he makes a lot of stuff with like some high-end stuff and then some like, wow, man. Just he's so clever, so out of the box, he's out of that box mind frame where you just go out and buy something and then just, redo it. He'll make stuff from scratch, just being extremely inventive. I guess that's the right word. Creative and inventive. And he's, he'll tell you he's not the best sculptor in the world, but he does make some really cool masks. And he's fast though. He'll knock out a mask in 2 hours. Mainly monster mask. He doesn't make movie masks. He doesn't make Michael Myers mask. He doesn't make any of that stuff. Anytime you start replicating things, it's very difficult. Yeah, you want to check out Alan Hops at Stilt B Studios. Tell him DJ Styles sent you. Yeah, you want to check him out, man. He's really cool. Yeah, I could sit and watch his videos for hours, and especially the older ones when he was, during COVID, he was at home, and his business got shut down. Well, it used to be somebody else's business. It used to be somebody else's haunt. But Alan got so big and so, pretty much, I guess they couldn't afford to pay him anymore. They sold him the business. And it's a big haunt down there in Texas. It's an indoor haunt. It's huge. I've been meaning to go down there. I keep telling him, I'm going to come down and see you. I swear to God, I'm going to come down and see you. I just keep running into one brick wall after another to go visit him. My cousin lives in Texas, but she lives all the way down in right outside of Houston, Texas, and he's all the way up north of he's probably northeast Texas, way up at the top, right around where what do they call it? Come on. I can't think of the name of it now. Well, actually, you guys ever hear of the legend of Boggy Creek? Um, Damn, it's I can't think of the name of the state. It's literally right there at the top right hand corner of Texas, extreme northeast Texas. Um, Shreveport. He's not too far from there. He's actually not very far from there. We were going to drive up there, down there, and go visit him. And I was going to go stop and see the legend of Boggy Creek, where that was filmed. I'm a huge fan of that kind of stuff, where, it was a Bigfoot film from 1972. I'll put that down for you guys in case you never saw it. It's very hokey, and they come across as a I think it's IE. It might be Bogggy or Boggie. I'm not sure. Boggy, but I'm leaving it as Boggy like that. Yeah, it might be with a Y though. Legend of Boggy Creek. But he's not too far from there. And I want to go down and visit him. He runs classes, teaches people how to sculpt, teaches people how to make masks. He makes a lot of really cool stuff. He has 2 channels that he runs. Okay, so enough about that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting this into stone. First, I have to silicone it once I texture it. Yeah, I could probably do that real quick, show you guys what that's all about. You know what? Why I have it like propped up right here, I'm going to show you what happens when you texture this. Take the shine out of it, now that you can really see the shine on this thing. So let's do a little work while I'm on here. What do you think, guys? Yeah, you have to check out the movie Legend of Boggy Creek. It's a cheap, low budget. Um, Billy Bob Thornton, was it Billy Bob? What the hell was his name? I forget. Well, he used to make fun of that movie. Oh my God, it was so funny. Yeah, let's texture this thing. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Now notice right underneath the lower lip, right where the seam comes together. Let me show you. I have to put the fan on, and I have to open up the back door because the chemical stinks. And I have to put my mask on. So give me a few minutes here. I knocked the camera. I know I whacked it. So we're going to put this guy down. We're going to put this guy down. And I'm going to leave it just where it's at. I'm going to get out of the light and texture this thing, but I got to grab my mask. I got to open up the door. Give me a second. I gotta shut the back door. Hold on. I gotta shut Put the fan on and open up the door. It's gonna get cold in here though. And noisy. Gotta put some gloves on. Let me open up the door too. I gotta open up the back door.
man, is it cold out there? I can't take long on this. All right, I need gloves. My chemicals. Putting on my gloves. Extra, extra large. Give me a second. Come on. Oh, my gravel. I don't want to be too long because it's cold. It's like 22 degrees outside. All right, let me get out of the light. And what I'm doing is softening it up, right? The very outer side of this. This just softens the outer layer of clay. All right, now this is going to be my texture tool. That should do it. Close this up because this shit stinks. Called naphtha. Not exactly healthy. Let this dry for a minute. You'll see it get real. Okay. Now I'm going to shut the door because it's too damn cold. Got the cap back on there. It's going to be a little bit of fumes left. What the hell was that? Something just popped. I don't know what that was. Yeah, that stuff's still drying. Let me get this mask off.
Better. Still shit still stinks. All right. All right, let's get this thing back on. I still got some work to do on the neck. Still needs to be smoothed out more. I'm still seeing some shiny spots, but I took down some of that lip. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up to your comments. But you see what that does by texturing that? It gives you the oh man, I need my glasses. I put my glasses down over the other side. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, because here's what I want to do. I want to lift this up a little higher. Damn, that's too high. I'm trying to give you a direct shot, like right at the face. Come on. I gotta get a new stand. This stand sucks. This bucket's right in my damn way. Get out of the way. All right, now you're straight on. That's what it looks like. Looking dead on, straight at the face. Tell me them lips ain't on the money. Tell me them lips ain't on the money. Fixing my chair. Now what the hell's going on? Why is that crooked? There you go. Much better. Yeah, I think so too. I think this is extremely accurate. The sculpture, the lips are right on the money. And I even have that lip line slanted just a little bit from left to right if you're looking at the mask. Yeah, this is going to be if this doesn't sell, I quit. I give up. I really don't. I'm at the point where if this one doesn't sell, because I mean I sold a few of the other ones, and some of you guys bought them, guys that are on here now. But it just it wasn't perfect. Those masks weren't perfect, you know. And I mean you guys love them. I know. I'm glad you're happy with those masks, but I'm a perfectionist by nature, and I just keep working until I get it perfect. I have to get it right. Yeah, it definitely froze over. It's freezing over right here. I can tell you that. The other thing too is I've noticed there's a trend out there right now where a lot of people are giving up their masks. They're selling off all their masks. I've noticed that a lot of people are not collecting like they were just 2 years ago. But it's also the economy. The economy's in bad shape, man. And I mean, I'm gonna lower my price as low as I can possibly go and still make money. Um, time is always money, isn't it? You can't, like, these kind of masks. Let me see. I don't think I would be able to sell this mask for less than 300. All said and done, I couldn't go any lower than that, or else I would lose money. I know I would, with the amount of time and work that I put into it. Um, because it's going to take me a long time to recuperate all the time spent on this thing. But I'm not really trying to recoup that, because that was partially a lot of that was fun. To me, that was all fun. Sculpting is my favorite thing out of all this. Yeah, it is. So I'm probably going to sell this for like $300. That's how I'm going to put it up for sale. That's going to be my starting price. You'll buy it now for 300. I just can't. I'm not like that kind. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to try and try to make as much money as possible on one sale. I'd rather sell 15 masks at 300 than 2 masks at 6. You know. I think 300 is a good fair price for this mask, especially when I get done with the paint scheme. The paint scheme is going to be badass. As a matter of fact, let me put that other mask. I'll put it next to it so you can see the lips of what I've done with the paint scheme. Now, this paint scheme is not on target yet, because I have to. I just dirtied up the mask is all I did. But I want you to just look at the lips, just the lips. That's all I'm looking at. That's on this mask that I painted. This is the one that's flawed, that I had sitting right next to this. If you just look at the lips, hold on, make sure I'm in frame. Yeah, there you go. Just look at the lips itself, the paint work that's on the lips. It looks like the screen used paint job. I finally figured out the paint on how you paint those lips, and I know how you have to paint all the details too. So now this is a defective mask, but this is the Ultra FB78 versus the new 1:1. But the paint scheme's going to be really badass. I'll tell you something else that people overlooked. That's in the actual. It's actually in the life cast of William Shatner, because I have a William Shatner, and that bump is there. But if you look right underneath the center of the lower lip, see that little bump that's on the sculpture? I didn't have that on the Ultra, but it's there, and it's also on the flashback mask itself. It is definitely on that mask. I've seen it in a close shot of the actual screen. It was actually when the screen used, it was a copy from the mold that Sean Clark has. He has a copy of this. Oh, nice. We've been dealing with right now. There's snow on the ground outside. It's melting finally, but we've had snow on the ground for 3 weeks, and our average temperature was anywhere from 10 degrees to 21 degrees for the last 3 weeks straight. It's been so cold, so brutally cold, man. Raphael, you have no clue what it's like to be in this kind of weather and try to get work done. It's brutal. It is brutal. And I'm not a fan of the Halloween 4. There's only 2 masks that, all right, Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, the original two masks. That was the same mask, only it was worn by two different people in each one of those movies. Um, Nick Castle wore it in Halloween 1. He had a very long face, and it stretched the mask. It made it look. And it was a kid's mask. It was a very small mask, the Captain Kirk mask, and he stretched it. When he wore it, it looked elongated. Now, Dick Warlock wore that same mask in the movie Halloween 2 in 1981, the sequel to the 1978. And that looked way different because his head was wider and it stretched the eye cuts. But both versions, man, they look so awesome. That's why I'm trying to stick with this sculpture here, and maybe, I'll be able to get that stretch look. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not busting on anybody's mask. I think what it is with the masks, and tell me if I'm wrong, but when you see a movie for the first, let's say you were introduced to Halloween by the movie Halloween 4. That was your first Halloween movie you saw. I think that's why it's always going to be your favorite. If you saw Halloween 2 before you saw Halloween 1, that's probably going to be your favorite mask. If you've seen Halloween 5 or 6 or 8 or whatever, I think that's the reason why people fall in love with that particular version of the mask, because that was their introduction to Michael Myers, just depending on what version of the mask. But I actually like the Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. Although it's the same mask, it was a Captain Kirk mask, and just two different people with two different size heads wore it. And that's why it looks so different. And it was weathered more. It was like, it actually turned a little bit yellowish. The white paint was wearing off of it, and it got dirty. There was scuff marks on it, and it looked dirty. Hair was matted in the Halloween 2. Remember, Halloween 1 was shot in 1978. I believe it was 77 into 78. I don't know exact dates on when they actually shot, but I know it wasn't a very long shoot. I think it was 78. The movie came out in 78. Maybe it was shot in 77. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't until 1981, so it was 3 years later before they did the sequel to that movie. And that's a lot of time for a mask laying around. Apparently it was underneath the bed in a shoebox. I don't believe that, because it got really dirty. So it looks like it was, it was handled quite a bit. What is my least favorite Myers mask? I'd have to say, I'm going to say from 4 on up until they finally went back to the 2018. I really loved it because it looked more like the Shatner. I'm a Shatner fan. It has to look like William Shatner, or else I don't like the mask. Now the 2018 had that Shatner feel, had that Shatner look, had those eye cuts perfect, had everything that looked really good about the mask. What gave the Shatner look. It had all those elements. It didn't look exactly like the Shatner mask, no, but it gave you the same elements that made the mask look extremely creepy, especially on low light. So my favorite mask, I'm going to tell you right now, are Halloween 1, 2, 2018, Kills, and Ends. They're my favorite Halloween masks. All other masks I never liked. I never cared for it. And the other thing too is when they went away from that, I'll tell you, here's what it is. Halloween 1 and 2, you saw that in the theater. Man, that was great. Man, that mask is so creepy, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, you get excited. Halloween 3 comes out, and we're thinking that Michael Myers is going to be in the movie. And it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. And it pissed off a lot of people in the theaters, and I was one of them. I got up and walked out. I never saw the entire movie until much later in life. Uh, I walked out because I was like, I felt like I was scammed because they put Halloween 3, John Carpenter, Halloween 3. They never mentioned it wasn't about Michael Myers. They never told you. You just went there. You thought it was going to be Michael Myers in the picture. And all of a sudden, I forget where you saw it, but on TV, the movie Halloween was playing. And you're going, what the F? And you're going, what the hell? I feel like I just got robbed. So I was pissed off. I got up and walked out of the theater. So did my brother. So, um, so that was the Halloween 3. Pissed off. Halloween 4 comes out. I think it was like 1995 or something like that. It was a long time after that, because I think Halloween 3 was in like 1983 or 84 or something like that. Might have been 82. I don't know. I can't remember what year it was. It came out, Halloween 3. But a long time had lapsed between the Halloween. But they never told you, they never showed you what the mask looked like when you saw the previews to the movie. They never gave you what they did was they showed the Michael Myers. If you look at the poster art of Halloween 4 and 5, all right, the poster art is the William Shatner mask. And you thought, okay, man, oh man, they're going to be using. Not that you ever pointed out that mask was important. You didn't think that mask was important until they revealed the mask that they put on the guy in Halloween 4, and that thing looked like a clown to me. It had round eyebrows. It just looked awful to me, and I was like, I can't even buy this. I mean, I can't. It's not scary to me. The mask didn't look scary to me. It just didn't, and didn't give you the creepy vibes at all. The other thing that kind of hurt the movie was using the artificial visual effects. Not meaning, in other words, they put fog machines. They used smoke machines. They did, you know, the blue light was real blue. It wasn't like this. See, the one thing William Shatner, the one thing John Carpenter was very good at was creating. He gave you that blue light, but it was like a very pale blue. You know what it looked like? It looked like natural moonlight in the movie, and they really accomplished that effect really well in that Halloween 1 and even Halloween 2. They used the same lighting. The same guy was involved that did Halloween 1, did the lighting for Halloween 2. So they really they captured it all in those first two movies. Halloween 4 came out, and it really, I mean, Halloween 4 should have been named Halloween 3 because that was Michael Myers in that movie. But the rest of the mask, all the way through the whole, they never used William Shatner. And they couldn't because William Shatner wouldn't let them use it. I don't know what they did to free up the likeness. I mean, I guess you can, that was the one thing, they made it look like William Shatner on the 2018 mask. A lot of similarities with the William Shatner. That's why I think Christopher Nelson was a genius and is a genius. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because he couldn't make it look like William Shatner. He couldn't look like exactly like William Shatner. Yeah, exactly. Statue Man, it's exactly what happened. It pissed off a lot of people. If we're talking about Halloween 3. Yeah, so Halloween 4, when we saw the mask, it just looked clownish too white too. The mask was so stark white. It just didn't look good. The eye cuts didn't look right. Just so many weird things. It almost looked like it had this weird, um, just really weird looking. And I think the first time we saw the mask in pure view was he sat up behind the little girl Jamie's bed, and he turned and looked at the camera, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know whether to be scared or friggin' laugh to death. That's how I felt. I didn't know whether to laugh to death or not. I'm like, that mask looks like shit. But that's my own opinion, and that's only because I'm a big Shatner mask, and that's the mask for me. I mean, it has to have. Now, getting back to Christopher Nelson, he had to make that mask. It couldn't look exactly like William Shatner, but he managed to capture what made William Shatner's mask look very creepy, and he really captured it with the flashback. I think it had a lot to do with the lips, and as you're looking at the screen here, it had a lot to do with the way the eye cuts are shaped, because my sculpture is very close to the screen used. It really is that close to the screen used mask, very close. And I think that, it's wow. Now you can see the difference in the size of the nose and everything versus the ultra versus the 1-to-1 clay sculpt. I even actually fixed the ear on the right side. You see how the ear kind of tapers in and then it bumps out a little bit, and that's fixed, so that looks right to the screen used mask now. The top of the ear goes a little closer to the forehead, to the head, and the bottom of the ear sticks out a little bit further on the right side, looking at the picture. Yes, I know all about Dick Warlock. As a matter of fact, it's funny. I'll tell you what happened. All right, so do you guys watch Sean Clark's Two-Headed Monster, or what the hell is it called? The Thing with Two Heads? Look up episode 50. At the very end, after about 2 hours, Dick Warlock shows off a mask that I gave to him at the thing he went to 3 years ago at the Monster Mania in Cherry Hill. I gave him a mask that I made for him, and he bust on it a little bit. He says the chin sticks out too far. Look at it. Look how far out that chin. But he's right. The chin was very inaccurate. The lips weren't all real accurate either. There was a lot that had to be done to it, but it was my way of saying thank you for. But he ended up adding us as a friend, me and my brother Keith, and my brother Keith ended up doing his website. I don't know if he's rechanged it since, but my brother Keith did his website, and then he's like, hey, you guys come on down, we'll go out to dinner and we'll hang out and blah, 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 because my brother sings country music, and Dick Warlock loves country music. He's a big fan of country music. And Keith gave him a tape of it. Not so much that but he loved my mask. He's like, man, but he actually put it on that Sean Clark's. And the funny thing was, Sean Clark was there. Dick Warlock was on that episode 50. And Christopher Nelson, Nick Castle was on that episode. So they all saw my mask, and I was like, what? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. My mask is on one of those episodes. So that was pretty cool. But my whole point to this is we actually got pretty friendly with Dick Warlock. And I haven't really reached out to him lately. I know he's getting older. He's like 84 now, 83, 84. He was like 81 when he did that comic. Yeah, so he's like 84, 85. And that's not young. And we never did get to go out to dinner with him or anything. My brother got sick. I got all kinds of issues, and I never got down to him, but we did constantly communicate with him. My brother did his website, did all the pictures. Dick Warlock sent him all those behind the scene pictures, which I can't share because I swore I would never do that to him. They're his personal collections, Dick Warlock, and we would never do that. I mean, just out of respect. But he has oh my God, the pictures that he had, Dick Warlock. He has so many behind Jaws, because he was on the set of Jaws. He was the guy that was in the cage in the movie Jaws. Dick Warlock was the guy that was the stunt man that was in the cage when the shark attacked the cage when they were out in the water, out in the boat, and it was supposed to be, come on, Hooper. Hooper was supposed to be in the water, and it wasn't Hooper. It was actually Dick Warlock in the cage. Yeah, Dick Warlock's done a lot of stunt work all through the years. Warlock played him so cool. Let me try to explain, because I didn't get this from Dick Warlock, but let me give you my best guess. Because I meant to ask him that. That was one of the things I was going to ask him when we went out to dinner. We really planned on going down there. I'm not going to say where he lives because I'd never do that unless it's already known. But we were supposed to go down to his house and go out to dinner, or hang out, whatever the hell whatever he wanted to do, we were fine with. We didn't care. So he wanted to shoot the shit more with my brother because he loves music. Oh my God, he loves country music. So anyway, I wanted to ask him. Did he purposely? All right, let's take it back. Halloween 1 ends where he gets shot multiple times and then falls off the balcony, which makes you lead to believe that he wasn't really human, if you survive something like that. So did Dick Warlock watch that movie, Halloween 1, and come away with a feeling that he has to play Michael Myers as not something that's human, more like a zombie type of walk, because he can't be human, getting shot that many times and, not dying, and still walking around, so that leads to be, supernatural. Did he mean to play him supernatural? Because that's what he did. That's what it looked like to me. And he did a great job. I love Halloween 2. I hate to say this because I'm a big fan of Halloween 1 and the way I saw it, but I enjoyed Halloween 2 more than Halloween 1. And I think it was, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why. He's going to be at the convention in Chicago? Makes me wonder. It's only a 9-hour drive for me to go to Chicago. No, it's not. It's a 12-hour drive for me to go to Chicago from here. I'm on the East Coast, right in Jersey, right on the water in Cape May. No, I'm serious. I enjoyed Halloween 2 more, and I'll tell you why. Halloween 2, I used to work in a hospital, all right? And the hospital I worked at in Cape May County here was that desolate back in those days. There was barely anybody, especially the winter time. Once summer was over, because we're a resort area where we live. Yeah, possessed. I would say loved his possessed robotic SQ. Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. I've never heard that. I've never heard that from John Carpenter. I never heard that from Dick Warlock. I don't know if that's a rumor that John Carpenter doesn't talk to Dick Warlock. I don't believe that. I don't know. I don't know that that's true, but I can't see why he would be angry at Dick Warlock. I mean, that's ridiculous. But John Carpenter to me, he's pretty. I don't know, man. He's kind of a mystery to me. He's kind of a mystery to me. You know, he does get like defensive on a lot of things. You know, but he's a great director, man. There's nothing you can say about him. I don't I mean I don't know the man, so I'm not going to comment on somebody. He's a mystery to me. So I don't see John Carpenter not liking him. But I always meant to ask Dick Warlock, you know, how did he how did he see Michael Myers? How did he play him and be able to play him like that zombie uh, possessed, as you said, uh, Drac Nation? Because I thought it was a clever way to play him. I thought it was very clever because I just remember seeing at the end of Halloween 2 and then him not being on that lawn and he got up and walked away and you can hear the breathing. And I mean, in the theater, you can really hear the breathing. You know, you heard the breathing, and then they did all the montages of clips of where he was, you know, different scenes in the movie. Um, that was really cool, and you just came away leaving that theater thinking, oh man, he ain't human. That's the truth. That's how I walked out of that theater. He ain't human. I can't wait till Halloween 2. And then here they never had, John Carpenter had no plans of making Halloween 2. He didn't have any plans to make Halloween 2 at all. And he says that openly a lot. But now I've heard rumors that he's looking to get, and I know he's involved with the game that's coming out. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to get that. That's going to be so cool. There's a Halloween game coming out, and John Carpenter's behind it, and they're really trying to captivate the same William Shatner look in the mask. Well, honestly, have you ever seen Halloween 2? Did you ever see the Rick Rosenthal? That was who the director was. Did you ever see his original release version? Man, that was the worst editing job I've ever seen in a movie. Rick Rosenthal's edit work, they literally, when they watched the movie, they had to call John Carpenter in to fix the movie. And John Carpenter took everything that they had shot and then made the movie make sense. So it was really John Carpenter's magic that really made Halloween 2 wonderful. It was great. Um, Castle is doing motion capture for the game as well. Yes, yes, I heard that. Nick Castle's involved with this. So I'm really excited for that game. Well, it was different. H2 was a different movie. Um, H2, it just had a different feel. But getting back to why I love that movie, I used to work in a hospital. It had that same creepy vibe. And when I saw Halloween 2, I instantly went, oh my God, I feel like I'm at work. With the dark, you know, some of the lights are on, some of the lights are off. And the corridors were empty. Most of the rooms were empty. And there wasn't very many people on the floor, very few nurses at the nurses station, like one or two to do the entire, like 3 wings they were handling. And it was really, it felt exactly like the hospital I worked at. So I instantly gravitated to number 2 because of that fact. And I worked in the hospital I was working in maintenance. I did maintenance. I also was a floor finisher at one point. I first got in there, I was only like 20 years old, and I had my own floor finishing business. My father started a floor finishing business as a side job. He bought all this equipment because my father was a tanker. He was a captain on an oil tanker, and he would work 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. And during his 2 weeks off, he was like, "Well, man, what can I do to make some money?" So he started this floor finishing business, and he used to go into all the bakeries and all the different, So he did it for a little while, and he said, "I don't want to do this no more." And then he turned around and he says, "Here's the keys. Take this equipment. Go do these floors. You keep all the money." I started making, I'm not kidding you, man. I was making $800 a night doing 3 or 4 floors, just doing paste wax, cleaning the bakeries, the local bakeries. And I furthered it. I learned how to do, all different types of floors. But I was doing mainly terrazzo floors. And I was cleaning up, man. So one of the guys at the hospital saw my work, when I started working on different types of floors. And he instantly said, "Yo, do you want to work here at the hospital? We need somebody that knows what the hell they're doing with floor finishing." I said, "Yeah, but this is not my main thing. I have my business and I can't." "Oh, just come in and teach my guys." So that's what I did. Here I am, 20 years old, teaching 40-year-old men how to do burnishing and like new techniques with different types of acrylic finishes. I was using acrylic where nobody else was ever using that. They were still using a lot of paste wax. And acrylic was just new. So what we were doing is I brought them in. I just teach them how to do, you have to do 6 coats of wax on the floor. And then I would teach them how to burnish it. In other words, when you burnish it, you're only taking a couple layers of the top coat of the wax down. Then you put 2 new fresh coats down. And that's called a shower scrub. That's what we used to call it, a shower scrub. It's been a long time since I did floors. I couldn't do them now if I had to. I know how, but I just physically couldn't do it anymore. That's some tough work. But yeah, that's how at the hospital, it gave me flashbacks, man. Or it wasn't flashbacks. I was actually working at the hospital teaching these guys. I thought, man, the only time we could do floor finishing was at nighttime when it was really spooky in the hallways. And man, you can right down the hallway, down on the basement floor. We were 5 doors from the 5 doors down where our office was 5 doors down from the morgue. And I swear you could hear some shit in that morgue sometimes, and you thought, you can hear the noises. And I'll never forget, we went into the morgue to do the floor finishing, and there wasn't supposed to be anybody on the slab. And they had somebody on the table, and oh man, you want to hear something crazy? All right, here we go. So we go in there, me and my buddy. Now his name was Xavier, and one of the coolest black guys I ever met in my life. And we go inside in there, and we both look at each other. We're looking at the table, and there's a guy on the table. Now he's covered, sheets all the way across him. He's completely covered, but he's getting ready to be autopsied. And they have a big refrigerator where they keep all the bodies in the morgue. And we go into the morgue. We start moving furniture, and we're both avoiding looking at the table. Now, I'm 20 years old, 22 years, 21 years old, something like that. And we're both avoiding looking at that table, man. We were just trying to focus on doing the work and get the hell out of there. So we get in there and we start prepping the floor for, what we're going to do. We're doing a shower scrub and then putting 2 coats of wax down, and then we're out of there. So, well, we hear this, large, loud fart. I didn't even do it right. Large fart. And all of a sudden, the corpse sits up, literally sits straight up, and then falls back down. I'd never seen a black man turn so white in my life. And I took off just as fast as he did, man. It scared the shit out of both of us, man. I've never told that story. It's funny. I never told that story to anybody. You guys are the first to hear it. My brother knows about it. My family knows about it, but I've never shared that story. It's pretty cool. But that actually happened. Large fart, body sits up. I don't know if it was a convulsion. I don't know if it's muscle memory. I don't know what you want to call it. But that thing sat up. It didn't sit straight up, but it sat up, almost got vertical, and then it just plopped back down. But man, just the thing moving scared the shit out of us. It was like, I mean, man, we took off out of that room. Wax, everything stayed right in the room. And I'm sorry, we weren't going back in there. You could pay me $1 million. We weren't going back in there. I called the boss, who was at home in bed. Woke him right up out of bed. I said, look, we were just in the morgue. They got a body on the slab, and that thing sat up on us. We're not going back in there. I don't give a damn what you want to pay me. I don't care if you fire me. I don't give a damn. We're not going back in there. And Xavier, he was ready to go home. Oh, my God. I don't even think Xavier's alive anymore, man. He wasn't that old at the time. I was 20, but he was like 45, 50 at the time. I'll bet he's not with us anymore, man. He was a local. I'm going to have to look into him. Try to find him if he's alive. But I always liked him. He was such a good guy. Such a cool guy. Good friend. We became really close friends. Really close friends. But man, I swear to God, he turned 3 shades of white. I'd never seen anybody get that. He looked nauseously sick. He got ashy gray looking. I thought, man, you look like a corpse yourself. He's like, man, that just didn't sit well with me. We talked about that for months. The Taco Bell killed him. I don't know, man. It was a large fart, and man, that thing sat up. And I'm not joking. It really happened. That thing sat up, man. I was like, oh my God. Sheet stayed on because the sheet was really long. It was all the way over top of the whole table. But you could tell it was a person. Man, that was creepy. I'm now getting visions of it in my head right now. I'm like, ugh. Because the fart made us look at the table. As soon as we turned to look at the table, and we're both together, because he's putting finish down and I'm actually mopping out and evening out the coat. And I'm like, he's in front of me and I'm behind him. No. Yeah, that's how it was. I'm behind. So I'm putting it down, and yeah, I mean it was dude, it was creepy. I'm telling you, it was really creepy, Jay Thorne. That was a creepy experience. But yeah, that Halloween too. That's why I think that's really become my favorite, because I even knew an orderly. I swear to God, he was not that he looked exactly like him, but he sounded just like him. Bud. We had an orderly that worked there. His name, and I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. That was too many years ago. But he looked like Leo Rossi. He didn't look like him. He kind of did. He was Italian, but he had that offbeat, very like South Philly slang. Yeah, he really had that. He had that Jersey South Philly slang, and I swear to God, you'd be like, man, if you could put Bud in front of him, he sounded like him. He'd even sounded like him. So there was so many similarities to that job, to that movie, and I think that's why I really liked Halloween 2. Halloween 4, I didn't like it at all. I mean, as soon as it started, I didn't like the little girl state, Jamie, and I don't know which movie they started tying in all this creepy underworld stuff where he was involved with Satanism, and they I don't know, it was so weird. It just got too weird. They got, what the problem was with Halloween 2, not Halloween 2, Halloween 3, 4, Halloween 4 on up. They tried to explain too much about, that's why I didn't like, what's his name's movies. I didn't like either one of those. I didn't like any of his movies. The reboot in 2007. What's his name? Rob Zombie. I didn't like his movies at all. I didn't. They tried to explain Michael Myers too much. Try to give him a backstory and the whole 9 yards. That to me was totally unnecessary. Don't need to know about his backstory. I don't believe in that. I think the less you know about Michael Myers, the creepier it is. But that's just my thoughts. I'm not busting on anybody. If anybody likes something else, hey, go for it. Whatever makes you happy, man. That's what you like. Not everybody's the same. Everybody has their reasons. I'm telling you, man. Statue Man, I'm telling you, that scared the Raphael. I know. I'm just gonna call you by Statue Man because in case you don't want people knowing your name. So anyway, Statue Man it is. That scared the shit out of us, man. It did. And man, my boss. And get this, the boss, when I finally told him the story on the phone, he says, "I ain't got the heart to fire you. You don't want to go back in there? Fine." I said, "We're gonna have to strip that whole floor down now because we left that floor half done, and it's got like 2 coats. It's got 1 coat of wax and half another half a coat, and it wasn't. It's gonna be puddled up because we took the hell off, man. We got out of there fast. That was creepy." Now I look back and I used to remember hearing a lot of noises coming out of that room, thinking there was either somebody in there or something weird was going on in that morgue. Yeah, man, creepy shit, but funny. Oh man, looking back at that, I wish we had that on video. Oh my God, that would have been friggin' nuts. All right, Raphael, sounds good. Yeah, that's a true story. I swear to God, put my hand on the Bible. True story. That actually happened. Oh man, that was scary. Xavier, he was a very suspicious. He was superstitious kind of guy too. He really was. He wasn't afraid of anything. He wasn't afraid of any man. That's for sure. He was a tough son of a bitch. Grew up in South Philly. Me and him tangled one time, man. He kicked my ass. Oh God, I'll never forget that. And I'm no slouch. I'm a good fighter. My father was a boxer, and we knew how to fight. But he put a thumping on me, taught me a couple of lessons. But got up, shook hands, best friends ever since. And we got into a fight over something stupid too, man. It was really dumb. I remember that. That was just me being a hot-headed kid. That's really what it was. That's exactly what it was. I was a hot-headed kid. I was a hot-headed kid. And wasn't racial or anything like that because I'm not racist at all. That's never been. It's not in my blood a little bit. I have a black brother-in-law. I've got black family. I've got blacks in my family. And you don't want to say colored person because that's more offensive to them than saying black. At least that's what I've been told. So, I don't know. I don't see them that way. My nieces and nephews they've got partial black in them, And me, I got half American Indian in me. Not half, but I got a good portion of American Indian in me. And I'm a mutt, man. I got all kinds. I got European blood in me. I got British. I got Scottish. I got, what else do we have? Irish. We have some Irish in us. We got a lot of European. About 75% European, and the rest is American Indian. We have Blackfoot, Cherokee, and Apache. How the hell all those mixed together, I have no idea. I don't know what the timeline is, but we did one of those history checks on our what do they call it? Where they check your bloodline and they tell you how much, what you have in you. We did that, and I was kind of blown away. I didn't even know about Um, and when they say Apache, it's not that. I have Northeast region, Indian blood. I have Midwest, and then West Coast Indians. So that means basically those tribes were West Coast, Midwest, and Northeast. Blackfoot was Northeast in this country. Uh, Cherokee was in the Midwest, and Apache was on the West Coast. I believe that's it. I might have it backwards. I don't know. No, I know that the East Coast was Blackfoot, but the other two, I'm not sure. It might have been vice versa. But that's how they show it to you, so it's pretty interesting. I'm like, Indian's Indian. How do you decipher the difference? Well, no, there's differences. Somehow, some way, there's differences. So it was interesting. DNA, yes, DNA. But yeah, I'm definitely not racist at all. I think it's the dumbest thing we can be as a people. I say that openly to anybody. I mean, think about it. You hate somebody for their skin color? How stupid is that? I mean, think about the logic behind that. If I hate somebody, or I can't ever hate anybody. I can say I can dislike somebody. I'm going to dislike somebody because of who they are, not what they are. That's dumb. It is. Just doesn't make any common sense to me at all. It just doesn't make any sense. Some of my best friends through my life weren't the same national. I got an Italian guy working that lives with me now. He's Italian, pure Italian. He's a nice guy. I've never had any problem. We're a mutt. We got a mix of everybody in this country. As long as we're all legal, we're all Americans, and we all bleed red. I don't give a shit what color we are. We all have red in our veins. So I hate the racism. That's the race baiting that's going on. I don't like it a little bit. Feels like we're taking a step back in time instead of moving forward. I just can't wait till everybody kind of gets together and makes one race. We'll all be mud. Wouldn't that be cool? All one race. We're all mixed together. Then there is no more racism. That'd be the end of racism. You wouldn't have all white. You wouldn't have all black. You wouldn't have all. Everybody would mix together. All Asian. Everybody's mixed together in this country. I mean, it started going in that direction. And all of a sudden, it isn't the people, though. I can tell you this right now. This isn't the people causing this. It's the government themselves. They don't want the people to get powerful. And the only way they can do that is keep us separated. And how they do that is through hatred, through racism and race baiting and all that bullshit. Don't buy into that, man. Don't buy into it. Steer clear of that crap. So that's the government trying to keep us separated. United, they hate us. They scared to death of us uniting. They really are. So anyway, guys, I am going to say good night to all you people that hang out with me. I can't find it's not telling me how many people are on with me. Where the hell is the number at? It's weird. Oh, 5 are watching. 103 minutes ago, everybody joined me. You guys are probably chilling out with your eyes semi-closed and just listening to me yap about nothing. But this is the 1-to-1 FB78 that will be out this summer. I'm probably going to silicone this bad boy over the next, I'm hoping this month. I've got to get it done before, I got to get the molds done and everything. My biggest thing is right now, I need warmer weather. Until the warmer weather kicks in, I can't get anything done. So, and I don't mean it doesn't have to be hot, but it has to be warmer. Well, I'm not going to blame all parents because my father was a little racist, but here was the reason. He grew up in South Philadelphia. All right. No, I'm sorry. North and Northeast Philly. No. He grew up in North Philly, and he also was in South Philly for some time. But back in those days, back in the 50s and 60s, they would have to cut through neighborhoods to go to school. And when I say neighborhoods, I'm saying you had the black neighborhoods, you had the Irish neighborhoods, you had the Italian neighborhoods, and I guess you had the average white neighborhood. I don't know. They had all these different neighborhoods, and might have been they even had Puerto Rican and Mexican neighborhoods. You know, there wasn't a lot of that. There wasn't a lot of the Mexican and Puerto Rican. There was some, but not a lot. But I'm just saying, in his particular area where he had to cut through to school. Well, if you went through any of those neighborhoods, regardless of whether it be black or Italian or whatever, and you weren't part of that neighborhood, they knew it, and they were watching you like a hawk, and 9 times out of 10, you'd get your ass beat while you were cutting through that neighborhood to get to school. You know, not all the time, but there was times, and that caused a lot of the racism. It really did. And the segregation, that wasn't cool. I mean, that was stupid. You know, only whites and only blacks. I don't know. Blacks not sitting in the back of the bus, and or they had to sit in the back. I forget. They had to sit in the back of the bus. Yeah, they had to sit in the back of the bus. That's ridiculous. You know, it's just stupid. But that's how those people were back in those days, man. We can't change that. We can't change. Good night, Drac Nation. We can't change those days. Those days are gone. Just like we can't change what happened in history. History is history. It's exactly what the word is. It's history. It's no longer part of today. It shouldn't be. You never want to forget history because you're doomed to repeat history if you don't learn from history. But what I don't like what I'm seeing now is they're trying to erase history, and they're trying to give you false history, and that's not cool. You know, by tearing down our monuments, and I mean, even those people might have been wrong. That's part of history. You don't erase that, because if you erase that history, you don't learn from that history and end up repeating that history, and that's truth. That is total truth. I mean, think of it this way. Now, we're starting to realize and starting to learn that we know that we've been on this earth a far lot longer than those than 6,000 years, and those monuments, those pyramids and stuff were built by an ancient civilization that goes way back before then, maybe 30, 40,000 years ago, maybe even later. And what I'm saying is, even though they're documented, you don't know what their lives were like, and we're still trying to figure out, you know, what killed them, what killed them off. Our guess is probably a meteor, something like that, killed them off. But my point is, if you erase history, how do you keep from repeating it? You know, so it's important to have truth in history, whether it's good. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. So, but I'm going to say good night, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for shooting the crap. And I enjoyed this stream. I talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of nonsense too, a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good stream. Good stream, good live. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new mask and the new paint scheme. As you can see, the lips are painted on that mask. That's going to look good. I'm going to have a good paint scheme for this going forward. I'm going to really try to go as accurate as I can possibly go with this mask. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed, guys. It's getting late, so I'm going to say goodnight. Peace out, everybody. See you on the next stream.